Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time being here, hi, my name is Vivian, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. You all know how much I appreciate each and every one of you. Today's video is going to be slightly different. I know I usually come on here to talk about hair or beauty or fashion or travel, but today is going to be one of my random videos that I usually do when I feel the need to, inspire or motivate someone, because I really don't know who needs to hear this. But in today's video, we're going to be trashing out like the 5 steps that I took to push me towards my goals and choose my priorities over life pleasures. I know it might sound crazy. It's really difficult to implement, especially, with life struggles. But trust me when I say, if you have a short-term goal and you practice, each and every one of the steps religiously, like you will definitely exceed your goal expectations. I can't even emphasize enough how this has actually elevated me from certain life situations, and it has actually placed me in certain places that I honestly can't even believe that, like I am. Like, it's crazy. But without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right into it and give you guys these 5 steps that I took to push me towards my goals, and I'm still taking them. So it's still, a work in progress. I'm still doing it. I'm seeing results as I go, and it's not something I'm just gonna drop. So if this is something that you're interested in, definitely keep watching. So the very first thing that I did to push me towards my goals and allowed me to focus on my priorities was the fact that I eliminated procrastination and I started practicing discipline. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Eliminating procrastination. If you're someone who says, oh, I'll get it done tomorrow. No, I'll get it done the day after tomorrow. Like, you would not be able to achieve a short-term goal, not to talk of a long-term goal. So the first thing you have to do is be able to discipline yourself enough not to procrastinate, because I feel like procrastination is the killer of all goals. It doesn't matter if it's short term or if it's long term. You just have to not procrastinate. The minute you're able to eliminate that out of your life and not even practice that at all, things begin to change. So instead of saying, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, you got to find a way to drag yourself. There has to be like some sort of motivation for you to be able to say, okay, I can get this done today, or I have to get this done today. Instead of using the word, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll do it the day after, you can actually tell yourself, I have to get this done. I get to get this done. And that is the first step to changing the way, you begin to attract, not just like the things that are meant for you, the things that the universe is supposed to push down your way. You start to attract it, and it leads you towards your goals. So the first thing you have to try to eliminate and start practicing is discipline, because nothing can be achieved without discipline. Like, if you wanted to go to the gym because you wanted to lose like 20 pounds, you would definitely need to exercise or eat healthy. And if you weren't doing all of that, or you didn't have some kind of certain discipline, that kind of helped you align, your schedule or your eating habits, that would never happen. So the first thing you have to do is to eliminate procrastination. Practice more of discipline. It's hard. It's very hard. I cannot sit down here and tell you, oh, it's easy. It is super hard, but it just all begins with you. Like, it starts in here, and then it begins with you. So no one's going to come tell you to do it. Nobody's going to push you to do it. If this is really what you want, then you would, put your mind to it, and you will let this be the first step for you to overcome, procrastination, and it will definitely lead you to your goals. The second thing I started doing, or I started practicing, that pushed me towards my short-term goals was the fact that I started living below my income. I know it sounds nuts. What I mean by that is, so I make this in a month, or I make this in a year, but I live way under what I make. So instead of leaving, okay, I get this raise, or I get that raise, or I get this money or this income coming in from this place or that place, and then I go get a new car, or I feel like, oh, I can afford to get this, and I buy all the designers that I see, then I would not be able to, move forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but there were desires. I had obviously desires to own this stuff, to do this, to buy these things, to live, bigger, or to, I don't know, live more flashier, or eat out like every single day. But I choose not to, because that's where the discipline comes. So I disciplined myself enough to be able to earn a certain amount, but still live under my income. So this, in turn, you won't see how this would work, or you won't see actually how this makes sense. But when you live below your income, you give a certain room for overly more to come in, and that more coming in, you get to save or invest, which it's going to bring me to the third thing I have to say. But this is just kind of like a room that like helps you. It kind of just brackets or branches to like different things. It not only helps you save, it helps you put in a certain amount into an investment that brings back returns if it's done properly, in the long run. So that means you're killing like two birds with one stone. So if you're someone who gets a raise today, or gets this income, or you have several online incomes or whatever, and you're so quick to, oh, I have this money coming in, and then you buy this, and you squander, and there's no savings, no form of investment, there's nothing at all, then you haven't started living. Because there will come a time where you would actually really need money for something, or you would want to elevate to a certain situation or a certain stage in your life, and you find out that you have nothing, because you've ended up living to the level of which you aim, and you kind of have nothing. There's no savings, there's no investment, there's no retirement plan, there's nothing. So you have to start thinking seriously about how you spend your money. And it just has to start with you having enough discipline to say, okay, I know I earn this much, but I don't have to live this certain way. I don't have to order out every single day. I can still cook, and I would still be able to maintain a certain level of balance between everything. So that's the one thing you should consider: cutting down on the things that do not, bring in to your life, rather takes out. So instead, you put all of that into an investment, or you rather save, and that way in the next 6 months or a year, you have a lot to show for it. So the third thing that I did that literally changed my life and let me prioritize, my goals over life pleasures, was the fact that I started saving. So right after school, while I was trying to get my resident permit and all of that, working and working and working time after time, overtime, overtime. All of these times I had no time for myself. So I was literally like a walk animal. Like I was going, lack of sleep, you know, lack of social activities. Like I barely went out. I would probably go out once in like 3 months on a Saturday, and it was killing me. But on the other side, it was kind of it wasn't like an intentional discipline, but it was just something I had to do because I had a short-term goal I was trying to achieve. Needed to be able to get there, doing all this shifts and overtimes and all of this. So all of that like income was directed. I remembered using that to open an online extension store, which is what is known as Vivaloveeda Mati. And looking back like 2 years ago, like when I started, and how it started like a joke, to be honest, like because I didn't even expect that it would ever get anywhere. Like it was something I was like, okay, if I have something coming in, like I need to be able to put something into, something. Like I cannot just, have this just sitting in a bank or whatever. I know I love hairs. I always have since I was a child. So I knew it's something I'm interested in. So definitely there would be some kind of interest that would trigger from the inside. So I started learning how to lace my own hair, how to do my own hair myself. Funny thing is I've never been to a salon since I've been in Canada. It's kind of weird, but I do literally everything myself. So I started doing that. I invested in getting a bulk of, stock, and yeah, and that was how it started. So I put in not just like everything that I was getting. Like I put in some into investing in that, which I'm actually thankful I did, because if I did not, I don't know what return I'd be getting right now. But I'm thankful I did. And the rest part I decided to save, which still kind of worked out at the end of the day. Like I'm not where I want to be, but I'm really thankful and grateful to God for where I'm at right now. So if I did not do all those stuff, or invest in myself, or invest, certain income I was getting into something that I actually loved, which is actually has, I obviously would have not gotten to anywhere. Like I probably would not even have anything to show for it. That's why I say it's still a work in progress. Like I'm still practicing all of this stuff. Not one day that I've woken up and I haven't practiced discipline, and I do see the results, not every single day, but I do see the results, and you don't get to see them except if you have been in the practice for at least a couple of months or a couple of years. Sometimes it could be slow, sometimes it could be fast. It all just depends. And you need to be consistent as well. Like you need to invest in something, save, cut down on the spending, save at least 1/3 of what you get. If you aim, let's say you aim $500 in a month, you can put aside like $50 every month into something. It could be an RSP. It could be like a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account, and that just works its way for your future. So it is very important that you practice the act of saving and investing. I can't even tell you how far that can get you, like in the long run. So that was the third most important thing that I started practicing, that allowed me to prioritize my goals, or to focus rather on my goals than to, embrace life pleasures. So the earlier you start doing that, investing either in yourself, in something, or put in some money, aside for your future, the earlier the better. So the first thing that I did that let me prioritize my goals over life pleasures was the fact that I started prioritizing myself. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So when I say I started prioritizing myself, it means I got rid of everything and anything that was no longer serving me, anything that I've outgrown, and that was no longer like in the space where I needed it to be. Like, I got rid of it. And I'm speaking old habits, friendships that were no longer serving me, things that were not bringing or directing me or guiding me towards my goals. It could be anything. Like, at that point, I'm just gonna be very honest. At that point, it was unnecessary hangouts. There were times where, like, I needed to get things done, and there were just other things that were kind of distracting me. Either, oh, let's go to this place. Oh, there's this new place that's open. There's this, there's that. Some of them I actually did. I won't actually lie. Like, I actually did. And then others I like was able to say, like, discipline myself enough to say no. Well, I can't make it, for this, or I can't do this, or not this week, or not that, So everything and anything that was no longer serving me, I mean, like habits, friendships, I don't know, like all the stuff that I was doing at the point that wasn't, adding towards these goals, I got rid of them. Like, I was so focused. It was not even a joke. I was so focused on my goals that, like, on my short-term goal, because it was something I had to do. Else, I would not be able to, kind of maintain my status, as a resident. So I had to do everything that I had to do to be able to get to this point. So anything that wasn't kind of directing me, that like leading me to that direction, I made sure I cut it off. Like, it's crazy, but I don't know what it is you're working on. Like, I have no idea what it is you're working on, if it's like a short-term goal, if it's a long-term goal, but you need to figure out what is not serving you. You need to figure out what is not guiding you towards your goals. If it's probably like you're going out way too much, you need to start cutting that off. If there are people who call you constantly to hang out and they don't have the same they don't have the same kind of direction or goals as their goals are not aligned with yours. I don't know if I'm making sense. Or when you tell them your goals, or when you put it out there, it's like, oh, you can never do that. Are you joking? Like, who does that? Like, you need to cut certain people out of your life and focus on where you're going. Because it's only you who knows what you can do. Nobody can tell you what you can do. You know what you're capable of, and you're the only one who can execute it. Like, you're not going to wait for someone to think that you can do it. So the minute you're able to prioritize yourself and choose yourself first over anything else, that's the minute everything starts to work for you. So you got to choose what is working and what is not. Figure out the things that are working for you and the things that are not. And those things that are not needs to go. If you order food like 5 days a week, you got to cut it down. substitute for making your own meals. If you go to the gym, like you could work out in the house. Cut off that fee for it sounds crazy, but if it's costing you so much, you don't need it. If you have different subscriptions that you pay for and you barely even sit in the house to do or to watch any of these things, you need to cut it off. Because at the long run, you end up paying for things that you don't even, enjoy the service, yet you pay for it like on a monthly basis. So you need to sit down and check yourself and check these things that no longer, serve you. And once you identify what they are, you begin to eliminate them little by little until it's all gone. And that's the only way you can move forward. Everything still boils down to discipline. You have to be disciplined enough to be able to do that. And if you don't apply discipline, nothing works. Nothing works and nothing can be achieved without discipline. So the earlier you choose yourself, the better and the more closer you're going to get to your goals. So the very last thing that I did that pushed me right towards my goals and let me prioritize that over life pleasures was the fact that I practice gratitude every single day. There was not one day I drove out of work and I did not say, thank you, Lord, for today. I am really grateful. I know that, I don't know how many people believe in God, but that actually goes a long way. When God, or however you guys want to say it, the universe blesses you with something and you are grateful for, even if it's just a little. There's something about gratitude, it like multiplies. Instead of complaining all the time, and I find that even when things don't go in the way that I want them to go, I'm kind of bitter for like a few hours. I sleep it off and I'm back on the next day. Like I don't let it tear me down. Like if things, like I had this expectations and things were not going the way I would have wanted it to go, or I had this goal and somehow along the line something happened that kind of deterred me from, getting there, The thing is, you would obviously get there. You will definitely get there. It takes time. You have to apply a lot of pressure and consistency. But the truth is, you don't get there if you're full of complaints or you're not even grateful for the little that you have already achieved or the little that you already have. So the very, 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 it's the most important thing from every single step that I've actually told you guys today. You need to practice gratitude always. Always. Like when you wake up, before you go to bed, every single time you have to be grateful for the little things. Even waking up is a big deal. So for you to be able to see another day, to be able to chase that goal, or change your life or change certain things that you do, or, change your priorities and move towards like what is calling you, like your goals or whatever it is you want to achieve. You need to be able to you need to be thankful and grateful for what you already have. So I can't overemphasize it enough on how gratitude is a major key, but it is. Because once you're grateful, you get the abundance of more. It just comes. When you keep complaining, then it's like nothing, like, I'm not going to say nothing comes, but from my own experience, like complaining gets you nowhere. Like you're stuck in that same position and you're still complaining. Oh, this and that, that. Rather be grateful for what you have, how far you've come, and then look forward to what is yet to come. And you'd be surprised on how much, like you won't even see it coming. Like you'd one day just sit down and be like, oh my God, like, oh my God. Like this is how far, like, oh my God. So the practice of gratitude is very important. It is so imperative that you practice gratitude. So important. And the more you practice gratitude, the more the blessings finds their way to you. And the more you are able, to kind of like be led to like your goals. You have a grateful heart, it comes to you. You have an act of complaining, then things don't really work out. Like, because you find a way to kind of bring it down, or, with the words or the things that you say, it not only like kind of brings down your spirit, it doesn't give you the motivation to keep moving. So you gotta remain, you have to remain very, very grateful. You have to practice gratitude. It is super important, and that, my friends, is the last thing that I did constantly every single day, and this pushed me or led me towards my goals. So I hope this was helpful to someone. I hope someone sees this and someone actually puts this into practice, and this actually works out for, I don't know who needs to hear it, but I hope this works out. I thought to come on here and share my experience. So yeah, that's everything for this week, guys. So I see you next week, which I'm hoping would be an interesting one. Not next week. It should be in 2 weeks. Yeah. But till I see you in 2 weeks, have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, wherever you are. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys, and stay safe.